Football. You're such a beautiful thing. Magical. That's why we love you. Lufuno's very happy. Because there were certain games that happened. We won't say in Tunis, and certain Sundowns lost. But last week we had quite big games that were happening that have got an impact on, one, the trajectory of the club and how football is viewed in the continent. We start in Dar. Benjamin Gam.
Again.
There was that stadium, man. There's so many top games.
Yeah.
Yanga versus Simba.
Yeah.
The first round, Simba gave them. First round. Sorry, Clement. Sorry, everybody. First round, Yanga were very giving with an open hand.
Yeah. The kitchens.
Simba must have wanted to do right by their supporters.
Yeah.
But again, it was another L caught by Simba. Your thoughts on football in Tanzania and where Yanga is going at the moment?
Well, I think we should start by appreciating the football in that other side of the world is really growing. We are now sitting here talking about the derby between Simba and Yanga. So that shows that there is a lot that they're doing right in terms of football on the other side of the world. And it's very much rubbing into the African football in general. And you saw both teams were just now in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And it was take two. Take two. Funny enough, I saw the whole stadium raising a Sundowns side. You know what it means?
7 goals now.
7 goals. They were raising the they're now supporting Sundowns.
No, but you've got to remember there's a tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Yanga called it the Yellow Nation.
Yeah.
But the way that Yanga has gone about it, SC, is that from management to coaching, everything, Yanga seems to be very focused in terms of being the powerhouse in Tanzania.
Yeah, which is a good thing, Tampoza, and that shows that football in Tanzania is growing, and we want to see that. We date it back to what we've just seen from both teams in the CAF Champions League. They've played quite an interesting game. Unfortunately, the controversy with Sundowns. Unfortunately, Simba not doing much to ease off an Ahly, which I felt they should have won at home. They had the backhand of Ahly, and they didn't do that. But going back into what happened between the two of them, you have to date it back to probably 2021. Both these teams have probably played about 5 times since then, if I'm not mistaken. And you look at that, it then tells you you have to go back to that 5-1 drubbing of
was it 5-2?
5-2.
Yeah. 5-2. That tells you that Simba is a bit behind, and Yanga is growing and is coming into this thing, and the management has come in, brought in good players. We talk about Aziz right now. He's one of the most spoken about.
Can they keep Aziz though? Please, younger people, it's not me saying it. And unfortunately, this is part of the football that you're in. You go play in bigger stages.
Yep.
You stand a chance of losing your top players. Can Yanga, can they keep Gamondi as their coach?
That's a very interesting question. Most of us are not
because
looking at it.
This one is looking for a coach here in South Africa.
Exactly. They're probably talking to him in the background. We don't know. Are you talking to him?
Well, I don't know.
But when you then look at the way that Gamondi has done and the way that he's set up at Yanga, and Yanga at this stage they are, it's just formalities that are left. Yanga are going to be the champions of Tanzanian football.
It's about 11 points gap between them and Simba. They've just really eliminated Simba in a way as a competitor. It's a competitor.
But then looking at that, you've now said as Yanga, you've come to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Yes, you've exited, but locally you're doing well, which then puts your players on a platform that everybody then gets to see them.
Yes.
You're looking at the likes of Aziz, you're going, can they keep him? Can they keep the coach? Because bigger clubs, bigger budget are now. I mean, they had Nabi, who won the league. Nabi is now in Morocco.
Yeah, but Nabi stayed for 3 years, so they're a team that is very administrational sound. I think now the league is basically wrapped. The focus should be how do we prepare for the Champions League, because that should be the main issue about them, meaning that the core of the team must be kept. They will manage to get to the quarterfinal for the first time. So if they keep the core of the team, they reinforce. They keep the team.
No, man. Lofuno does not want to answer the question.
They can. Yes, they can.
Can they keep us?
Yes, they can.
You don't think that the Ahly, Sundowns,
Pyramid,
Pirates are going to come with
They
an
will
offer?
come. Obviously, they will come. The stakes are high. So if they're ambitious, they want to do better than what they've done this year.
They will
have to
fight
splash.
tooth and nail to keep him.
They have to splash.
I have to disagree with that. You know that, because look, he's basically in his last few months of his contract, and if big guns are coming in and enticing you with such high status of a game, for instance, the one team in South Africa that has been making noise about him is Pirates. You know, we're not only looking
but Aziz needs to be able to say, I'm going to a team that's playing in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we know that Stellenbosch are the ones. So Pirates may be coming,
Again,
but you've got to be able to say, is it a team that's playing in the Champions League?
it's argumentative because Pirates is 3 points away from that spot.
Okay.
but in Port, it's not for the first time they had a player that was, right
talk
there.
of town.
Talk of town. They had Mayele there.
Yeah.
They kept Mayele for a very long time. They had to sell him, to the best bidders. So looking at that speaks to good administration, that you keep the player with the intention to say, we're going to renew the contract. If ever the best bidders come in, we will let you go. So I think that will be more or less what the approach in terms of we keep our own player, we work with him. However, if one of the big guys come through, they have to pay.
But you've also got to remember, just because you've left does not mean that the grass is greener on the other side.
Absolutely.
Because we've seen with the likes of Fiston, he's not exactly setting the
bar high or
anything.
No.
If anything, he would do well to return back home. But having said that, we spoke about a coach. Before we get to the coaches, though, can we say Yanga are the new sheriff in Eastern African football?
I can agree to that, Damposa, because even if I look at the team that's second, which is Azam, Yanga has 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Simba, they've got 3 games in hand. Even if they win those games, they're not going to catch up to a Yanga if Yanga wins those 2 games.
Yeah.
So, Yellow Nation, Tanzania, Yellow Nation, South Africa.
Yellow Nation, Ivory Coast.
now he brings in other things.
Angola.
Nabi. So Nabi left.
Yeah.
He came to South Africa for a small holiday. We won't say why, because he's talking to other clubs which were not signing him. He now went and he's turning Moroccan football into something that they never seen before.
On top of the log.
Top of the log.
You don't see Wydad anywhere.
No, we did, and this is why we're having this conversation, because it now says, while we know that there's a semi-final that's at play, but things are starting to change. Your traditional team as Wydad is not making it Champions League next season. Not even Confederation Cup.
As it stands.
Because
Berkane is on top of them. Yes. They're in the 3rd position.
Nabi, Zimbabwe, they're walking away with this thing, the change in Moroccan football.
Yeah, it's going down to the wire, because it's just about 4 points gap. You still have about 4 games to go. So it's still, anything can still happen. Yes, we spoke before we came here that history can happen. That Raja Casablanca,
no loss,
yet
you're not the champion.
They might not be the champions.
How unfortunate.
You know what I mean? They've never lost a game.
The invincible number 2.
Invincible number 2. That is the history.
It would actually be the first thing that has ever happened in football.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
An anomaly of note.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but that also speaks to Zimbabwe and our own son of the soil that is there assisting him, that they are actually doing well. I mean,
Yes.
he came into that league. So these are two new coaches that came into the league and really changed everything.
So they're changing what we normally say, give the coach time, 3 seasons.
It doesn't work.
They arrive, they're on the money.
Look, at the end of the day, we appreciate what they're doing, you know. One would say probably visiting South Africa is good omen for them.
But again, Paul, I think this thing of saying as well, give the coach time and all that, you know, yes, we speak about that. But Xavi went to Barcelona and win the league. Xavi is dead. Lucas, what do you call it? Germany
by Leverkusen.
Nabi is winning the league. Stuart Baxter came to Kaizer Chiefs for the first time. He won the league. This thing, it needs to change. It needs to change.
We now get to the business side of this thing because now all we have, second league. Mazembe and Ahly decided to play with each other. Nobody was scoring. Mazembe played with a lot of opportunities.
Mazembe disappointed me in the game. I was so mad. I won't lie. I was so mad. I was like, why aren't you taking your chances? Because you're playing a team that says, give me the chance and I'll show you flames. And they didn't use that. And now they go there where we know the Pharaohs. They don't
so the people
chances.
of Lubumbashi, you've made SC very upset. Please make up. Do you think they've got what it takes to go to Cairo?
I'm not going to give them a chance in this game. Ahly knows how to play this thing. Ahly has been the team of the century. They're not called that for nothing. The Red Devils.
So it was not an accolade. They like you. You look smart. You smiled, and then they gave you that accolade.
No. Look, you have to work for that thing.
Can we remind LC how many times Mazembe has won the Champions League?
5 times.
5 times.
Okay.
Do you want me to remind you how many times that Ahly has won it?
Well, but 5 times. You can't win 5 times if you're not good enough. The Champions League is very difficult.
But also that, remember, Mazembe is the one that locked out Pedro in.
Yes, exactly my point.
But we can't be comparing a Pedro with an Ahly.
But that's where I'm going.
True.
All I'm saying to you, the unthinkable.
So you're saying that Mazembe will
I'm sticking to what I said. Mazembe will go to the final.
Okay. You're saying
Ahly is going to the final.
Ahly is going to the final. So the Egyptians are going to the final. And then we arrive on Friday.
Hey.
Oh,
fireworks.
Capital
I need water.
Yeah, we both do.
1.7 altitude. We need that to count.
Yeah, it has to work for us.
Mshishi needs to dance. Tembazone must come to the party. Tebogo Mokoena, even he must limp on the field. Everything needs to work. If you go to penalties, you need Ronwen to be able to come. Your thoughts, Lufuno? We'll start with you because I know friends of Esperance.
Facilities.
Okay, in Naturena we wear kappa. In Tunis they also don't
wear kappa.
They don't wear kappa. So
where do you stay?
There is
where do you stay?
There's no, but there's a relationship.
Where do you stay?
Oh, so this one.
So all I'm saying.
So it's a kappa friendship.
Yeah, it's a kappa friendship.
So are you hosting them at the village?
No, we didn't host them. But we want them to stay as far as
you know what I like about the kappa side.
Yeah,
it's as if like it's 2 people that are worried.
Just saying. I like that.
Just saying.
Yeah.
With that said,
no.
Esperance did not necessarily play low block.
Yeah.
Very similar to how Yanga played. It was moments, first 15 minutes they'll come and then they'll sit back and that's how it is. Do you see that same tactics being deployed come Friday?
I don't doubt that Esperance will come here and not do that. They play the game in segments in terms of let's break this game into segments and say maybe in the first 15 minutes let's go at them and then the next 15 minutes let's soak it up. Then the other 30 minutes after that we want to see what's going to happen. The game is a bit stable now. So for them, if they're going to come here and do that, it's going to be a challenge because Sundowns managed to get behind them.
It's important on Friday that Sundowns is the one that scores first.
Very important, and they must score early.
Okay.
If they score early, first 15-20 minutes, Sundowns really have to push hard and really look for that goal. If they can get that goal, I can tell you now, Sundowns will go to the final.
Wow. Luvono said Sundowns going to go to the must score first. Shasha. Hey, forget the thing that you're not scoring goals, Chief. Ribeiro, we need you to score goals. If Sundowns doesn't score first, we go 30 minutes into the game. Panic starts to set in.
We well known for that, I'm not going to lie. You look at the 2 games that we in the stage and we lost it out. It starts from the fans, you know. when the coach says, guys, keep encouraging these guys. We even saw it in the game that Sundowns played during the week, That tells you that you need to be encouraged to win this thing. You go to Cairo, you look at the Red Sea, what it does. You go to TP Mazembe, you see what happens with that White Sea there. So look, as a Sundowns follower, I'm urging the Sundowns supporters, guys, let's go to Loftus, let's fill up the stadium, make it yellow, and let's bring the heat.
You predict Sundowns to win
3-2.
Amara, this prediction of yours. So your prediction says that if Sundowns is 3-2, Sundowns are choking again.
No, but honestly, it's going to be a very, very, very tough game for Sundowns. But, my heart tells me Sundowns will win this game and go to the final.
So Sundowns to the final by Lufunu. Esli, did you see that one coming?
I don't trust Kaizer Chiefs people. I don't trust Kaizer Chiefs people. I'll put this on my own boys to say, guys, go out there, do your thing.
Agree with me.
So, for me, I look at the technical team. I look at Coach Rulani and look at what he is and how he sets up and his passion, his drive. And he spoke about something when in the last game Sundowns played. He says, mentally the boys are strong. And that's what you need to be able to get to a point where you say, mentally my team is strong. Yes, physically because of fatigue. Sundowns is the one team that had most players at the AFCON, and that has carried forward because they haven't rested.
True that.
But what you've got is a coach and the technical team that is saying, we will set up, and they're going to be aggressive in terms of being able to go there. I have hope.
I do. True. I'm with you on that.
I genuinely have hope.
All I can tell you is that there's no easy games in Africa.
At this stage.
We have seen at this stage that all games are very tough, very tactical, and hence I'm saying the Sundowns has to come to the party. We know that Sundowns has been struggling to break the low block. They've been struggling to really upset the teams that are sitting back. And as the game progresses and you don't score, it becomes even more frustrating. You saw what happened to Man City against Chelsea, Madrid. Madrid were not there to play. They were just there to
manage the game.
For me, it was like Madrid or Ahly. That's how you play. Don't drive
exactly. So the coach needs to be talking something different to the players. The players don't want to hear about teams playing low block. The coach should be talking, how are we going to break this? How are we going to set pieces are very important in teams that are doing like that. It's very critical. When you're creating corners, you need to make sure that you really drill your team.
Some Bala must go forward.
You need to drill your team to make sure. Look how we did knocked Sundowns out. It was just a diagonal ball, cross, goal.
Beautiful goal by Mval.
Exactly. So hence I'm saying to you, this kind of football, I promise you, we see it in Madrid and Barcelona.
No. In the biggest game, in the biggest footballing game,
biggest derby in the world, via Teka. These are the things that you need to look at.
But you know what, Talafruno? With quite an interesting analysis when you say that, because the question is, does a Rulani know how to do that? Does he coach his team to play that kind of football? The answer is no. And for me, I say at times leave the players to be as raw as they can. Again, I'm going to reference a Movala and say when he brought his rawness into that game they played, look at the shot he had on target. That shows you at times that let's leave the book a little bit. Let's come back with raw talent.
I agree with him. I'll give you two references of what you said. There are two games that Sundowns managed to get result.
And it wasn't the traditional way. Richards Bay,
Kaizer Chiefs, MTN final, Mandieta,
Kunisho.
Yes, you need such, because if teams are putting a low block, what do? You need to get the ball behind them. Sometimes you don't have to go around it. You need to go over. So these are the things that you also have to plan. To say, if this is not working, what is the plan B?
Well, we need a prediction. Sundowns go to the final, yes or no?
Sundowns go to the final.
Against?
TP Mazembe.
Against TP Mazembe. Sundowns go to the final?
We're going to give Ahly another 5 in the final.
Ahly another 5 in the final. If you are a Sundowns supporter, go to your priest, go to your anybody, be it a pastor, be it a man of God, be it a sangoma, be it going to the mosque, anything.
Yeah.
Because they need that. Because Esperance will probably come here, park the bus. As a Sundown supporter, Buyaya Buyelo, we will see you in the final. Hopefully, when we're there, Lufuna will come and join and stop supporting the opposition team. Thank you for being here. All I can say is that, Mangobo, write an article, Sundowns to the finals. Thank you for being with us.